What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk of the Ring Show. And guys, we are ecstatic. We are ecstatic today because, it's my birthday, so we celebrated. And I had too much. I work at Dunkin', so I had way too much energy. So we feeling it today. Let me tell you, this episode. I mean, personally, I've wanted him on for so long, but I guess, he's character. He's always in character, which is fine. No, I'm just kidding. But you guys, you've known since the beginning of this month. That's all I've talked about. I'm so excited for my birthday episode. I'm so excited because I love the heels, and he is one. I mean, at shows, I'm like, I don't like you in there, but you're pretty cool outside of it. We cool. We friends. But let's give a warm welcome to M.I.T.
What's going on?
Hello, how are you today?
Doing good. How about you?
I mean, I'm living the dream. So, I always hop right into it with who or what got you into wrestling.
So my father got me into pro wrestling. So my father, I watched it a lot growing up as a kid with him. And then he moved to Connecticut and ended up becoming a pro wrestler with a company up there called PAPW. And I moved up there for a little bit and it started from there. It was 2019. I took a few years off when I started my family, and then now I'm back 2 years now, almost 3.
Wow. Okay. So who trained you, and how long was the total training process?
So I was trained by Pretty Paul Roma and Mario Mancini. They both wrestled in the WWF back in, I think it was around from like 84 to 92, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. So I was there I started, it would have been like March of 2018. And then I trained for the whole time I was there, but until my first show, I was probably training for about 6-7 months. I definitely got started probably more or sooner than most people do. But then I just stuck with the training and just kept going and just got better and better.
Lovely. So coming from your first match, how do you personally think it went, or what were you thinking in that moment?
My first match in front of a big crowd was fun. I didn't mind it. It was definitely different because the night I worked, we had a sold out crowd. We had 400 people. So that was a little stressful. But other than that, it was a fun time. I was nervous, but just about everybody is when you go through the curtain. But once I went through the curtain, I was fine. Everything was fun. The match went good for only being 6-7 months into training. But after that, I just felt like you just get better and better.
No, definitely. You are definitely one of the biggest stars in the Pennsylvania area. So,
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. So, if people don't know, are you a heel or are you a face?
It depends where I go. Frontier, I do work face, where I'm the open weight champ. Mostly everywhere else I've worked heel. I prefer to work heel. I have more fun with it. But it doesn't matter to me.
No, for sure. I personally, I love the heels. I love when they're in their character, in their zone, because I am one of those that I don't shut up. I'll go back and forth with you until I will keep going until you go in my bubble. If after that, me compared.
But that's what we love, though. We love the people that want to go back and forth. If you don't want to give it, if we give and you don't want to give back, then it's just we find the next person.
No, for sure. I am that person. You'll definitely hear me at shows. I know I've seen you at shows. I think I've seen you at Frontier. A million. I think I've seen you at a million shows. But I personally think you're better as a heel because the crowd.
I appreciate that.
The crowd hates you in a nice way. They hate you, and it
I love it. I love to be hated.
Definitely. So, what would you say is your favorite thing about wrestling?
Never been asked that one before. I don't really know. I love all of it. Just the storytelling of it, but then the athleticism of it. It's truly fun for when people just look at you oh, you do the fake wrestling, right? And then I'm like, all right, well, come watch and see. And then after the show, everyone's like, okay, I take it back, everything I said. So it's cool to kind of get to do that. It's cool to also just see the kids, even though they'll hate you, they love you at the same time. They kind of look at you as a superhero. So it's kind of cool to get to see that. Just because I used to be that kid. So now being on the other side of it is really cool to see.
No, for sure, for sure. So now on the like opposite side, what would you say is like the hardest part about wrestling for you?
For me personally, I have horrible anxiety. So the build up to the match, and like I'll be excited for it all day and everything, but then usually about 5 minutes before I go through the curtain, it's a lot of just trying to calm myself down and just keep the nerves in check. Once I'm through the curtain, I'm always fine. I don't know why. It's just that initial pop through the curtain. I just need to. Maybe it's just needing to hear the reaction. I don't know, but yeah, the anxiety is a big thing for me.
No, definitely. And I say it all the time on here. I'm not a wrestler, but like I do the interviews, the ring announcing, and like obviously it's gonna happen more within the next couple weeks. But
Mm-hmm.
like my anxiety, I'm like, oh my God. Like what if I mess up or like I
Yeah.
it just get in my head, I'm like, I can't do this. And I'm like, wait, I think I can do it. And I'm like, no, I can't do it. It's an on and on thing all day.
Yeah,
Until I
that's 100% how I am a lot of the time. It's like I'm like I'm not good enough for this,
no.
and then people talk to me, and I'm like, but they think I am, but I think I'm not. So it's 100% just a back and forth battle in your head.
No, for sure. So, like, watching your matches back, do you find yourself sitting there being a self-critic of your matches then, or you're
All
like,
the time,
I'm the shit?
all the time. It's so bad. My friends think they're always good, and I'm like, yeah, but like if you watch here, this like could have been better, and they're like, dude, I would have never noticed that. Like, and I'm like, yes, but I notice it, and that's the thing.
Ex-
Also, I think if you're not going to critique yourself, you're not trying to improve.
no,
Um, so I'll pick up the small stuff. Like if I feel like my foot placement could have been a little bit to the left or to the right, like that stuff. Like I'm very
yeah,
minute about it.
no, for sure. I get it. I mean, I don't know. I was watching like my old interviews back from like UCW, and I was like, oh no, why did I sound like that? Now I'm like, okay, so now I have like all these shows like starting next week and back to back. I'm like, I
Yep.
gotta get in my zone, like. But no, I definitely understand. So obviously, I think Smash is more of kind of, but how do you feel about like hardcore death style weapons, all that fun stuff?
Um, I don't mind the weapons. Um, I'm not into like the deathmatch wrestling stuff like that. Like I'm not trying to get cut up. I'm not trying to do any of that. Chairs, kendo sticks. I mean, I got hit with a guitar this past Sunday. Um,
Ridiculous.
Chairs, or I said chair. Table is what I meant to say. Um, yeah, like that stuff doesn't bother me. I grew up watching that stuff, and that's what stuff I thought was cool. When you get into like the deathmatch wrestling, where you see the guys like using like the light tubes or like a fork or like a pizza cutter, I'm like, all right, now this is borderline like we're trying to kill people. Like this isn't wrestling. This is just hurting people.
And
Yeah, so it just definitely depends. Like if someone asked me to do that stuff, I definitely not trying to do it. But if someone wants to do like ladder matches, TLCs, like tables, ladders, chairs, I'm all game for it.
I mean, that still probably hurts though, like going through a table. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, no, trust me, I still got a nice bruise about yay big on my back from the guitar, and my back's still pretty scratched up from going through a door. Um, yeah, it's definitely it puts some wear and tear on you, but it's the love of the game and it's fun.
no, for sure. So now, like, if a younger fan came up to you at any of your shows and was like, "I want to do exactly what you do," what advice would you give them?
You, the biggest thing I've told people before is that if you really want to do this, it's not a hobby. It's not. If
Yeah,
you're trying to actually go somewhere and like get yourself to the next level, this isn't a hobby. It's a lifestyle, and you have to commit. Like a big thing for me, it's a big commitment for me. I have two kids, so it's a lot of weekends away from them and not getting to hang out with them when those are my days off normally from work. So yeah, it's tough. It's a commitment, but if you're willing to put 100% into it, you will get 1,000% back.
no, for sure. And really quickly, my dad's in the chat chanting your name. I mean, I'm not gonna put him on the spot, but I don't think he's a fan. Like I think he boos you when you're a heel, so you didn't
I
hear
love
that
it.
from me.
I
But
love it. Boo me more. Boo me more. Hate me more. I love it.
I
It's a
mean,
drive for me.
what other wrestler? His name's Rembrandt. He used to be a straight heel. Like everyone hated him, and then I started cheering him, and then everyone loved him. I was like, no, go back there. We're gonna try.
No, I started this. Don't jump on the bandwagon.
No, go back there. You're gonna. And then he turns a complete face. I was like, no, I don't like you now. I'll boo you now because you're face.
Yep.
Who knows? But so speaking of like, you have kids. Are they like interested in wrestling? Do you think it's gonna be something they do in the future? Or are they still way too young to know?
So my daughter's 4 and my son is 1, so they're still pretty young. My daughter thinks it's the coolest thing ever. Like she'll sit down and watch matches with me, or like I'm like, hey, like I gotta go to a show. And she's like, you gotta go wrestle. So like she gets what I'm doing. She's been to a couple shows. Granted, I kind of can't bring her to too many. One, it's just difficult. Just with having to be backstage and just trying to watch her.
Mhm.
And also because I took her to a show and then she went to daycare and put a kid in a headlock. So I'm trying to not get her kicked out of daycare or in trouble. And she doesn't quite get the fact of like, you can't do it. Like we can do it at home, but we can't do it outside of the house. So she's still learning that aspect of it.
I love that. I personally,
I mean, I love it too. I thought it was hysterical.
What?
The daycare teacher, on the other hand, did not. Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I was in that case and I got that call, I would honestly probably laugh my ass off and be like,
It was very hard not to chuckle over because
yeah.
like, where did she learn that from?
Yeah, like I know I'm not a wrestler. I'm just kidding. Be like, it wasn't me. No, I'm just kidding. But hey, so it happens. But so if you could choose anywhere to wrestle, where would you want to wrestle?
Like a specific company or like a state, or it doesn't
Just anywhere. If you could have an overall goal, a dream.
It's funny. I've never really decided on a specific spot. I just want to go everywhere. You just see, like, I watch a lot of the stuff with the older guys, like Taker and all those guys, and just hearing how they were 20, 25, 26 years old, just traveling the world. And I'm like, that just sounds so cool. So I don't really have a specific place. I would love to work everywhere. I'd love to go all over the U.S. I'd love to go to out of the country and do that stuff. But wherever they want to book me, I'm down.
So I love that. So now speaking of like all the places you have wrestled already, is there what like anyone specifically like you're like, okay, I'll come back any opportunity I get?
I've wrestled really all the ones I've wrestled in PA. I've had so much fun at all of them. Like Frontier is cool because you get like the con shows and stuff like that. Like I'd never been to a con before, so being at the con show and getting to win my first belt in front of a crowd of 500 to 600 people, like that's something I'll never forget. But all the companies I've worked for have always been really good to me. They've always welcomed me with open arms and always told me I could come back. So, I mean, I wrestled, like I said, Connecticut at PAPW. We're supposed to be going to New York to UPW, me and Luca Mancini on the 10th. So I'm excited for that because that'll be the debut in New York. And then everywhere in PA, which I wrestled Sanctuary. I would like to try to get back to there. And then I wrestled for Smash and Frontier. I mean, all those are home to me, Smash and Frontier.
Most definitely. I mean, who knows? Because the Sanctuary comes back, I want to say next Friday. I'm pretty sure it's next Friday, March 1st.
I think so. It's around there somewhere.
I know it's definitely March 1st, but I'm pretty sure. Who knows? Maybe I might be wrong, but who knows? We'll see. I'll be doing interviews there too, guys. If you are unaware. But in the chat, my dad says, "Happy birthday, Harley." Thank you.
Oh yes, happy birthday! Happy birthday! That's awesome. It's so cool. I get to be on the birthday podcast. That's awesome.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, last year on today we had Buddy Thomas, and if you are aware, like if you guys know who Buddy Thomas is, he is one heel that I cannot stand. So last year we had Buddy Thomas on. I cannot stand him. He's a heel. But now we have M.I.T. on, who's sometimes he's a heel, sometimes he's face. But when he is a heel, I can stand him because it can go back and forth. But Buddy Thomas, he makes me want to table.
No, I know who Buddy Thomas. I want to work Buddy Thomas. Buddy Thomas does some good stuff.
No, for sure. I want to see you put Buddy Thomas to a table and break his little umbrella thing that he has.
Oh, the umbrella. Oh, no.
So annoying. But so now speaking on an indies level, if you could face anyone, who would you want to face?
Again, it's like I have I could pick a couple guys. Marcus Mathers is one of them. He does some really good stuff over in New England and those areas. I wrestled him before, but I'd love to get to go wrestle with him again. Dustin Waller, if you've ever seen Dustin Waller wrestle, he came down for the Smash show with America Ones. We actually trained together when we first started, so we kind of broke into the business together. But just every time me and him work, it's magic. I would love to get some other like some of the bigger names, I guess you could say, like if you could get like a Nick Wayne or like a Wheeler Yuta, like those guys. I would love to get a shot at those guys. That'd be Leo. Oh, Leo's over in Japan right now, so I can't. But Leo would have been another one because he was over here for a little bit. There's a bunch of guys I'd love to work.
No, absolutely. I'm gonna diss him, and I've diss him on every last of these episodes. But Junie Underwood, I would love. I don't care if it's a tags match. I don't care what kind of match it is. But if you go against Junie, he's almost on Buddy Thomas's level because him and I be beefing. It's on.
Junie does some really good work, and I would love to get into the ring with him. I'm hoping it's gonna happen soon. I try to, as much as I feel like I'm still a rookie and a new guy, I try to toss names out there and see if I can get some work done. So yeah. He is one of the names that's been there. I'm definitely trying to see if we can get something going.
Almost definitely. I mean, who knows? Yeah, I mean, you are part of the new era the roster, and so is Junie. Yep. So I am super excited for that because we get to work together at that show, so it's gonna be fun.
I'm excited for that show. It's gonna be a cool show. North Pocono High School, that'll be fun. I haven't been in North Pocono High School since I was in high school playing sports. So this will be cool to go back there now and do a whole nother gimmick.
No, definitely. And it's like a really populated area. Like there's
the Pocono. Yeah, no, I have a feeling we're gonna get a good crowd that night.
No, definitely. If you guys are unaware, this is a poster, but I'm gonna post it on my story later. So make sure you're checking it out because M.I.T is gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. Journey Burke is gonna be there. We got some great names. Trevor Terry. Unfortunately, Junie, because he's a tag team. Then we have Miguel Del Barrio, which he's pretty cool. So I'm excited to work with him too. So lots of great names. And we also have, let me see if I can find it, Shelby Waters. She's not cleared to wrestle yet, but I am super excited.
Yes, they just announced her tonight. Yeah, all the announcements that have been there. The lineup and the roster we have for that show is going to be stacked, and I'm really excited to see it.
No, absolutely. I am so excited. I mean, Ricky Price is on there too, but you and Ricky you've had your storyline. How is it like working with Ricky?
Well, I can't stand him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
but the work we do is great.
No,
but he's Ricky Price, and we just got announced for a Donnybrook match for 316 at Smash, so that'll be exciting. I'm excited to get to kick his teeth in.
No, for sure.
Who knows? We'll see what happens. I'm not sure what's going to go on. Maybe I'll try to take that ring from him. Who knows?
I mean, personally, I hope so because Ricky is one. Ricky's every time I see him at the shows, I'm like, okay, well, you should come on the podcast. He's like, okay, yeah. And then I'll message him, and he's like, okay, we'll book sign. And then we never book sign. I'm like, okay, I get life's busy book. Come on now. So Ricky, he knows. Ricky knows. He knows. I tell him every show.
Ricky's Ricky. No one likes, at least no one from the think tank likes Ricky anyway. Yeah,
I don't like
or Ricky Cleater Jr.
Oh, I freaking knew it. I knew he was watching. He goes, "You're gonna lose that stash."
Okay. Nothing is going to happen to the stash. It stays right here. That ring might come home with me. I might rip that little ring off your finger. Take that home. I should have had that ring to begin with. For
real. But anyway, so we have Ryan in the chat saying happy birthday, Harley, from one podcaster to another. Thank you. Okay, so my next question is gonna be we said on the indies, but now speaking overall goal, alive or dead, WWE or AEW, doesn't matter what roster they're on. If you could face anyone, who would it be? Main goal. That's a big question.
There's a couple of them I would love to. Will Ospreay is I'm a huge Ospreay fan, so I would love to wrestle Will Ospreay. Seth Rollins would be another one.
Yeah.
Obviously, he doesn't wrestle anymore now, but like I'm a huge Taker fan. Like I mean that would be crazy just to get in the ring with Taker. But yeah, no, definitely Ospreay or Seth Rollins. What's his name? I can't think of it. The Rainmaker from New Japan. I can't remember. Kazuchika Okada. Okada's another amazing wrestler. Yeah, it's really about it. Those are the three main that I'm like stuck on right now. That I really like those guys.
Okay. You know, who knows? Maybe one day. I mean, there's another name that I was gonna mention. He's more on the indie scene, but Crow says obviously happy birthday. I think you and Crow, Crow is my wrestling. Like he's my uncle. But I love to like put him on the spot. He's kind of a heel, I guess. But like he is so small. So I love Crow.
He's small, but he's
he's a man of muscle. Like I will talk so much crap about him.
No, I would love to step in the ring with Crow for sure. Crow, I mean, Crow knows where I'm at. Crow's at all the shows.
No,
so let's run it, buddy.
He really is. Like I will talk so much crap. Like I'll be watching a wrestle. I'm like, oh, look at the little peanut in the ring. And I say it every time. I promise you, I will talk so much crap. But
you say it until he picks you up and toss you right in the ring.
That's what I was saying. I will talk so much crap until he's like right next to me. I'm like, nah, I never said that. I don't know what you talking about because it wasn't me.
It was the person behind me.
Yeah, it was my dad. My dad said it, or it's my brother, or my aunt, or my mom, but it wasn't me. I don't know who said it. But yeah, so now you're still, like you said, you're still young, you're still kind of fairly new to what the business, but do you think, like, if you had a choice, do you think it's going to be like an age thing, a mindset thing, or an injury thing that causes you to like call it quits?
I don't know. I don't really know. It definitely isn't a mindset thing because I'm in it. The only thing, yeah, it's not a mindset because I'm there for the mindset of it. I'm all in for it. If anything, I could probably see it being an injury somehow. But I mean, depending on the injury, I would come back. It would bother me. My knees are not really the best, so I get a little nervous for them some days. I actually been starting to wear a knee brace on my left knee recently, so trying to hopefully keep that one in check. But I mean, if we have to take a little time off, we'll take a little time off, but we definitely be back.
No, for sure. So, like, even if the time came and you couldn't, like, wrestle no more, do you think, obviously, you'd still be involved somehow, whether it's, like, trainer or manager or commentary, whatever?
I don't think I could leave it. It's in my blood. I got the itch through and through, and I think that I would probably try to train, like, to be a trainer or something like that, or try to do managing or something like that.
No, absolutely.
But I don't think I'd ever leave the business. And even if I didn't do stuff like that, I'd be at shows all the time just to see the guys and just to see how the product is going and where it's going.
No, absolutely. And so, like, it's a, like, more popular thing now, especially on the indies, the whole intergender wrestling. What's your thought on that?
It doesn't really bother me. I think it's cool. I think it adds a whole nother level to stuff just because women wrestlers aren't like how they used to be, where it was like the divas and there was just a lot of just catfighting and stuff. A lot of the women you see now, you see like Bianca Belair, or you see like Jordan Grace, all those guys. Those girls are powerhouses, and it's insane the stuff that they're able to do. So yeah, no, I mean, I'm all for it.
No, for sure. I mean, like, Adina still, she is one of the, like, number one females on the the Pennsylvania indies overall, but like she is, like, I seen her like almost when she first debuted till now. I'm like, she kind of scares me now in a good way. But
Adina is an amazing wrestler. I'm blessed to be able to have worked with her a few times. It was really cool to get to work, and that was also one of the first females I've ever worked with in a match. So it was cool to get to do that with her and just kind of learn a little bit and stuff like that. But she's another good wrestler, especially for the area. I mean, she's, I would say, one of the best in the area.
No, for sure. So Crow says M.I.T is one of my favorite in the indies.
I appreciate that, sir. I appreciate that.
And then Brian says, definitely excited about New Era. Going to be a huge first show. Hoping to get down there for it from that word, Kentucky. Friend of Commissioner Mark. So Yeah. And he says James Ellsworth has a promotion that has intergender championship.
Ooh, I think Stan Styles also has an. I know because he does the whole intergender bonanza. So I don't know if
He is an interesting person.
So I did. So I met Stan Styles at the Halloween show that Smash did at the drive-in. And that was the first time I ever met him. And yeah, Stan Styles is the whole thing is definitely a trip.
No.
And if you're not prepared for it, it definitely throws you off a little bit. But it is probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But he's also just such a good wrestler too, which is like you think it's just going to be just a gimmick. No. And then he starts to work, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, he can do both. This is crazy." But the whole whipped cream and everything like that, and the whole creamy world order like that, it cracks me up. I think it's amazing. I think that's one of the funniest things out there.
No, for real. Because like when I had him on the podcast, I was just like, I was sitting here the whole time. I'm like, interesting, cool. Like inside, I was lying. I mean, on the outside, I was dying too. But I'm like, you are an interesting person. So I love.
Yes, he is.
I was like, that's. I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't want to wrestle with whipped cream or whatever because you're gonna be really sticky, especially if you have long hair.
When he had a match with Adina Steele at the Halloween show, and there was still whipped cream in the ring. When me and Jason Furious had to do a last man standing match, and I remember just every now and then I would like feel something on my arm or my leg, and I was like, "What is that?" And I look over, and it was just like a clump of whipped cream, and I was just like, "Why is it still out here?" I was like, "This should be gone already."
No, for real. Like, I mean, that would have been a pretty good excuse. Like, if someone lost, be like, it was whipped cream. Like,
I would 100% blame it on Stan Styles.
Be like, no, because now he caused me the match, and now I have to. So yeah, I mean, yeah. But so Crow says, I see M.I.T in the big leagues. You def got the God's approval, brother.
All right. I love it.
I mean, do you work for High Ground or no?
I did work for High. Did a couple times. I haven't been back in a while. Just conflict and booking and stuff like that. But I would definitely like to go back there too. I actually forgot that they haven't had a show really in a while. But yeah. High Ground. I worked there a few times. I think 2-3 times. So I had fun out there.
You know, who knows? Because I think that's Crow's company. So Crow, you heard him. Get your stuff together. No, I'm just
Crow knows where I am. Crow's got me on the socials.
No, for sure. So now we were talking about it earlier in the episode. Do you have like a specific warm up you do before you come out the curtain, or like what is a typical show day for you?
A typical show day, most of the morning is just me making sure my kids are all set to stay here with my mom, and then once I get on the road, it's a lot of just kind of thinking of some spot. I think of spots the whole time I'm driving. In between me just trying to listen to music and try to just calm the nerves down.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of eating because I just get really nervous, so I don't eat a lot. But I don't really have a specific warm up. I do my basic stretches just to keep myself loose and everything like that. Mm-hmm. But I don't have anything. I know some guys have like specific stuff they have to do. Like it doesn't really matter for me. I just have to. Once I'm in front of the curtain, I just sit there and just take a few minutes to take some good breaths and just wait to hear the music go.
No, for sure. I think that's the cool thing, like, about having the podcast too, because everyone always sees it as like, yeah, all these wrestlers, like, they're not afraid. They just go out there, they do their thing. But like having this podcast, it like opens like people's eyes if they're watching and they're like, well, I want to do what they're doing, and you get to learn like their story and like, you know what I mean? So like,
no, yeah, 100%. I thought I was one of the few wrestlers that was like that, and then I started to hear a lot of people were just like they have to have that moment to just lock themselves in and stuff like that. And I was like, well, at least I'm not the only guy.
No, literally. I remember on UCW, I don't know if you worked that show or not, but me and my friend, we got breakfast right before because I worked that show, and I was like, I took a bite. I took a tiny bite of a muffin. I was like, yeah, I'm good for this. She's like, like a mouse bit this. I was like, I can't like digest the food. Like,
yeah. I can't eat too much. I can eat like a couple snacks and stuff like that, but I can't eat like I see guys that eat whole meals, and I'm like, no, I'd be puking in the ring.
No, I mean I literally said very little water. I'm like, but like you don't know what could happen out there. Like, what if you never know.
This is quite true. I've had a couple matches where I ate a little too much before the match, and then didn't feel the best after. So
I mean, at least if you're fine during the match, that's all that matters.
I've never had an incident during a match, thank God.
I would
But,
cry.
Yeah, no, that was one of those. I've always said that to myself. Like, just don't. If you're gonna get sick, just don't do it in the ring.
For sure, for sure. So Crow says he will get booked soon. Mark my word.
All right, let's go.
We'll
Let me
see.
back up to high ground.
Right? So now if people wanted to see you at some upcoming shows, where can they find you at?
So if they're willing to make the drive, 310, me and Luca Mancini as a think tank, we're going to be in Rochester going against American Strong Style for the UPW tag titles. The following week, 316, we got Smashtitude, which is going to be an amazing show. That the whole card, top to bottom, is completely solid. Like I said before, I can't wait to kick the crap out of Ricky Price and a Donnybrook. I'm definitely stealing that ring now that he says he's going to try to take my mustache, because this is not going anywhere. This is the heart and soul of the think tank right here. And then April we have some shows coming up. I know Smash is going down to Mania Week, so we're waiting to see maybe if Think Tank or M.I.T. or somebody can get in there. I'm waiting for confirmations and stuff. I haven't. And then we have Smash on 4/14, so that'll be another show. Which don't really have that one announced yet, but yeah, the next 2 months we got 4 or 5 shows coming up. I mean, I'm willing to book. I would love to book some more.
No, for sure. On the indie scenes, I think there's a lot of shows. Like in the winter months, I think it's like all the wrestling shows are like weird about having shows.
Yeah, it definitely dwindles down. After
Yeah.
December, it definitely dwindles down a lot in January, February. And then once it like mid end of February starts coming around, then everything starts to pick back up pretty good.
No, for sure. I haven't been to a wrestling show since freaking December. The trauma is crazy. No.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I could do a show or two in January. Scheduling wise, it just didn't work out. So I kind of just enjoyed a nice 2 months off with the kids. Yeah. But it was funny going to the show this past weekend, and I was just like, oh, I miss this. I miss the atmosphere, the energy. I mean, that show was great too. We had 150 people in the Voodoo Brewing Company. We sold out that show for the first show of the year. I hope Smash can do that a lot more, because Smash is definitely one of those up and coming companies that, well, not up and coming anymore. I think we're one of the companies out there now, and I love it, especially because I've been there since the first show. So to see where we were when it started and just where we are now is awesome. And I wouldn't trade any of it for the world. I love being a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, if we have some of your fans over here, I'm not saying me, but I am a fan. But no, I'm just kidding. So if we have some fans who want to buy your merch, if you have merch, where can they purchase it at?
Right now, the merch I have is these shirts, which I only have at shows right now. I'm working on getting a pro wrestling tees, and I know I'm slacking. I know. I'm working on getting a pro wrestling tees. I'm talking to my buddy of mine who designs stuff for me. I'm thinking about getting a couple more shirts designed up. I know us as a think tank, we're trying to get some shirts ordered for us so we can start selling some think tank shirts at shows. If y'all are a fan of them, if not, you need to get on the think tank train, because it is the smartest one out there. Because I don't think people realize how much think tank's about to take off and how much we're about to take control of this area.
No, for sure. So that's another question. If you could so let's say you and a tag partner, you could go against any tag team. What tag team would you want to go against?
Well, we already wrestled the America ones, but I mean, I'm down to wrestle them all anytime they want. Wasted Youth is another one with Marcus Mathers and his tag team partner, whose name I do not know at the moment, but I would love to wrestle them. Really, Grizzled Young Vets would actually be a really cool one to wrestle against. I would love to wrestle Grizzled Young Vets. But really, anybody. If anybody's trying to throw down with the think tank, let's go.
There you go. So now, and if people want to follow you on social media, where can they find you at?
Social medias, at Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter is at It's M.I.T. And then on Facebook, because I can't use my wrestling name as a real name because Facebook is stupid, It's Jackson Murray, and then right next. But once you click on it, you'll see it's a picture of me. You'll see MIT right next to it. But yeah, that's where you can find me for all those.
All right. Yeah. So thank you, MIT, so much for coming
No
on.
problem. Definitely, I would love to come back on whenever, and
For sure.
hopefully after the tongue twisted. Hopefully after the New Era Pro Wrestling show, we can do another talk. Hopefully, who knows? I know I'm bringing the belt. I don't know if I'm defending it, but I know I'm bringing the belt.
Absolutely. I mean, I know it was long awaited. I
know. I've only done the one defense so far. We're supposed to have a couple already, so hopefully we can go and get some more in. I'm excited for it. If anybody wants a challenge for the Frontier Openweight Championship, hit up Miguel Del Barrio. Hit me up. We'll do some work.
I mean, it won't be me. I won't challenge you for it. You can have it.
With my luck, Crow's going to be the one to message for it. I'm like, all right, let's maybe let's take it easy.
No, maybe not.
No, I'm all down for it. Let's go. I take on all challenges. Let's rock and roll.
No, for sure. So thank you, MIT, so much, guys. Please.
No problem again.
His little Instagram is linked down below, so make sure you're clicking that, following him, buy some merch, come up to shows. And MIT, you're dismissed if you want, but guys, I do want to do a little quick rundown of all the shows before.
You're all good. Let's listen to it.
Anything. So March 1st, it's official. The Sanctuary returns, so make sure that is in Hazleton, PA. I don't know the address, but make sure you're following that on Instagram. Then March 2nd, High Ground returns. So I mean, I'll be there for all of these shows. I'll be there. March 9th, I don't know the company name, but there's a Jim Thorpe. Guys, message Crow because he knows the show. It's a show in Jim Thorpe or whatever, how you say that place in Pennsylvania. So he's working that. So it's going to be a really fun show there.
I'm going to have to message Crow myself and find out about that one.
Yeah. And then this MIT mentioned Smash is the 16th. I think Three Legacies is also the 16th. I don't know what show I'm going to be at yet, if any. And then lastly, not but least, March 30th, AXW returns, which I am super excited for because they made their move. And obviously April 20th, guys. It's the countdown is on for New Era.
So I'm so excited for that show. Just the lineup and everything they keep us. I'm super excited for that show. And again, to be part of another debut of a company and stuff like that.
No, for sure. So thank you all so much for all the support. Thank you, MIT. And I hope you all have a great weekend. And I will be posting. I always say it's on one day and then I never post it till the day after. So stay tuned for next week's episode.